Hello and welcome to my Northern Premier League Midland Division review, your weekly home for everything happening in the NPR Midlands. I'm David Garton. I'll be breaking down all the key results from the past week, analysing the big talking points, checking out how the league table is shaping up and looking ahead to the next round of games. So firstly, I would like to discuss some transfer news that's gone around the division this week. So we'll start with Coleshill Town, who signed Ryan Booth from Bedworth United. Harry Harris said, I've had Boothie play for me for two of my previous clubs. He's a natural goal scorer. He scored a lot of goals at Redditch United at step 3 last season. I think he's exactly what we need. He's an experienced number 9 and will add to our squad. I'm really pleased to have him on board. We then go to Coventry Sphinx, who had another player departure. Oh, some settings there. Another player departure. So Jamal Adams has left the club. He'd scored 10 goals this season, so it did seem a bit of a surprise to me they'd let him go. I know he's had a few injuries this season, but we'll stay on with Jamal Adams because he soon appeared elsewhere. So Grant Joshua has strengthened his attacking options at Rugby Town with the signing of forward Jamal Adams, who came through the academy at Rugby Town and returns after 8 years. Also, whilst we're sticking with Rugby Town, they're pleased to welcome a former Coventry Sphinx stalwart, Callum Woodward. The 37-year-old midfielder has been with Sphinx for nearly a decade. We also had a departure at Rugby Town. Midfielder Greg Tempest scored time in his career. It would appear that injuries has caught up with him over his career. Sorry, get words out there. And St Neots announced 3 signings on the match day yesterday. So they signed Marcus Goulbourne from Barton Rovers, Quado Bogier Kai from Royston Town, and Samuel Akeli on loan from Cambridge United. So obviously they're trying to bolster their team whilst they go into this relegation battle towards the end of the season. So we had some fixtures midweek to discuss. So on Tuesday, we had Anstey Nomads versus Bourne Town, which was abandoned due to the weather again. Coventry Sphinx took on AFC Rushden Diamonds. I listened to that one on the radio. The AFC Rushden Diamonds radio coverage is really good. The referee got injured during the game, so we had a delay whilst we had another referee was brought in to be assistant. I think one of the assistants, I believe he was a young gentleman, got involved and had to take charge of the game. So we had a lot of extended time on that. But that finished 1-0 to Rushden Diamonds. John Joe O'Toole with the goal there. We also had Eaton United versus Rugby Borough, which Rugby Borough ran out 2-0 winners. Aran Jackson scored in the 44th minute. I don't know who scored the second goal because the NPL website says NA against one of the Rugby Borough players. And I've looked elsewhere and I can't see who scored the second goal. So if anybody knows who scored the second goal, please let me know because I'm intrigued to know who scored that goal. So obviously a great result there for Rugby Borough. We had a fixture planned for Wednesday, the 18th of February. That was Corby Town versus Shepshed Dynamo. Once more, again, Corby Town's game had to be postponed due to the weather. So going to get a pile up of games soon, Corby, if they're not careful. So we then have the full round of fixtures from the 21st of February. So Rushden Diamonds versus Belper Town, that was postponed due to the weather again. Basford United versus Boldmere St Michaels. That finished 3-1 to Basford United. Harry Crook gave Boldmere the lead on the 7th minute, only for Nathaniel Peters to equalise on the 34th minute. And the second half, Niall Blake scored in the 49th minute for Basford to make it 2-1. Lyndon Joyce was given a red card on the 70th minute, so Basford had to do the last 20 minutes with 10 men. But then Harrison Hazard scored on the 78th minute to make it 3-1 to secure all 3 points for Basford United. Carlton Town versus Bedworth United. Now, I have been saying I do think Carlton will drop some points this season. I did say that Carlton would win this 2-1, but the result finished 2-1 to Bedworth United. So Carlton Town were down to 10 men on the 10th minute when Lewis Droe was sent off. Nathan Watson give Carlton Town the lead on the 50th minute. Only for Bedworth United to get 2 goals in 3 minutes. Matthew Shipman scored in the 70th minute and Elliot Parrott scored in the 73rd. I do know that Carlton Town missed I think it was a late penalty around the 70th minute mark again. It was a good save by the goalkeeper Will Highland. So Bedworth United got some good points there against a team who are top of the table. We then go to Coleshill Town versus Wellingborough Town. So this one had quite a bit of action by the looks of it. We were looking at the highlights earlier. So we'll get this right here. So Connor Furlong was given a red card for Wellingborough Town on the 55th minute. Then I'm trying to get this right now. On the 70th minute, Lloyd Buckby scored. It was a cross from the right-hand side. It was headed in. Then we had Tyler Carter-Burn sent off for Coleshill Town. The captain was given a red card in the 78th minute. Then on the 80th minute, the goal scorer Lloyd Buckby for Wellingborough Town was given a second yellow card, so it was a red card there. So then they were down to 9 men. And then Ryan Booth scored on his debut for Coleshill Town, a 96th-minute penalty, which was put to the bottom left-hand corner past the goalkeeper. Some bad news to bring from the game as well. Danny Draper went off on the 30th minute for Wellingborough Town. It was confirmed he's got a broken arm. I'm sure broken arms are about 4, 5, 6 weeks to recover. So looking at the date now, he probably will make the last few fixtures of the season if he's lucky. So we wish Danny Draper all well in his recovery from his broken arm. Corby Town versus Racing Club Warwick, another Corby Town postponement, so that's been postponed. So again, their fixtures are going to start piling up. We then have Coventry Sphinx versus Rugby Town. So battle at the bottom of the table. That finished 1-0 to Coventry Sphinx. New recruit Jared Bradshaw got the ball on the edge of the box. It was a lovely left-footed strike into that top corner, past the goalkeeper, give him no chance whatsoever. So Coventry Sphinx get 3 points there and keep Rugby Town in trouble. Lichfield City versus St Neots Town, that finished 0-0. Right, you'll have to bear with me on this one. So Long Eaton United, who I've tipped to probably pushing the playoffs late in the season, took on Bourne Town in the relegation zone. This finished 5-2 to Bourne Town. So let's go through this. So Robbie Ellis scored in the 11th minute, corner into the box, was headed in. Then on the 33rd minute, Robbie Ellis scored again. It was a lovely pass through on goal and chipped over the goalkeeper. Then the scoring was finished in the first half and Bourne went 3-0 up with Zachary Allen scoring, the captain. It was a run down the right-hand side, turned back on himself and put under the keeper. The keeper nearly got there, went underneath him and bounced into the back of the net. Right, okay, let's get this right here. So then Long Eaton scored to make it 3-1. James Taylor got the goal in the 46th minute. It was a lovely strike in the right-hand side of the box. It gave the keeper no chance to save that. Let's get this right. There's that many goals, I'm struggling to read my notes. So Lewis Darlington made it 4-1. The highlights weren't the best to see, but I believe the strike was from about 18 to 20 yards. Long, hopeful ball over the top. Struck it, I think it was on the volley actually, past the goalkeeper, lobbed him from about 20 yards. So not very good from the goalkeeper. Probably wasn't expecting him to hit it as he did. Then Jaden Cottrell scored for Long Eaton to make it 4-2 on the 59th minute. It was a low corner, it was flicked on, foul to Cottrell, who put it in the back of the net. But the goal scoring wasn't finished there. Lewis Darlington got a second of the game. It was a through ball between two defenders. Managed to get through and struck it past the goalkeeper. It was a very good goal, actually. I'd recommend anybody to have a look at Bourne Town's highlights on YouTube. Although the camera angles behind the goals, it gives a good aspect of what happened there. 7 goals, very good, very enjoyable. Loughborough Students took on Anstey Nomads. So the students who were in the relegation zone took the lead on the 36th minute through Connor Keane. Then Anstey Nomads. Now, I've got from the MPL website that Ronnie Kokona scored the equaliser there, but somebody else told me somebody else did. So I'll trust what the website says at the moment. I'll have to check that out later on. Rugby Borough versus Mickleover. So I wouldn't say there's some controversy here because I've seen different videos of this, but we'll talk about this later. So Rugby Borough took the lead on the 32nd minute with Tyrell Waite scored the goal. It was a strike from the right-hand side to the bottom corner of the net, hit the post and went in. I'll have a look at that video later. To give Rugby Borough all 3 points, which I think may keep them safe for now, the points they've got. It's a very tight division. Sutton Coldfield Town versus Shepshed Dynamo. This finished 1-0 to Sutton Coldfield Town. Luke McGinnell scored on the 81st minute. It was a corner into the box, a huge leap at the back post, headed the ball back across the goal, corner of the net, give the goalkeeper no chance and give Sutton Coldfield Town all 3 points. So we'll take a look at the table now. So at the top, Carlton Town remain on top with 67 points following their defeat, but their lead has now been cut to 12 points. Basford are back to winning ways and now 10 points clear of 6th place, so secured in the playoffs for now. Anstey Nomads gained a good point and still have games in hand. Belper didn't play and Coleshill Town got a point. Now I still think the playoff race is very exciting this season. Anyone from the middle can still make it. So we'll just take a quick look at the table. So Carlton firmly on top at the moment, followed by Basford, Anstey, Belper and Coleshill. The chasing pack, now obviously the 5th place is on 48. Now we'll go down from here. So Mickleover 45, Wellingborough 44, Rugby Borough 44, although they've played a few more games. Rushden Diamonds 44, Race Club Warwick 43, Shepshed Dynamo 42, Corby 42, even Sutton Coldfield 42. I mean, Eaton 41, Lichfield City 41. So I think anything down to 15, a good run of form. And if some of the teams in the playoffs stumble, possibly they could get into the playoffs. I wouldn't have thought at this point in the season we'd be saying the top 15 still had a chance of promotion. So it's very good to see the division at the moment. We'll now take a look at the bottom end of the table. So Bedworth United beat top place Carlton Town 2-1 to score all 3 points. Very important there. Coventry Sphinx took 3 points from struggling Rugby Town, and Bourne hit 5 past long Eaton United. So last season, 36 points was enough for survival, which is what Bedworth United have at the moment. I was thinking 44 may be the target this season, but I'm starting to look at the table. I'm starting to think 48, 50 could be the level. So we'll go from bottom to top here. So we've got St Neots on 29, Rugby Town on 32, Bourne Town on 32, Loughborough Students on 33, Boldmere St Michaels 34, Bedworth United 36, Coventry Sphinx 36. Now, I would say possibly the kind of bottom 7 or 8 are going to be the ones, probably the bottom 7 really, the ones who are going to be in this. The 4 of the 7 are going to go down. But then saying that, the teams down the bottom keep pulling out some wonderful results at the moment. So anything's possible. I mean, a poor run from kind of Lichfield City upwards up to kind of 8th place could really drag anybody into it. So I'm going to say I think 46 to 48 points is going to be the marker at the moment. So once they get to that stage, I would class that as safety. But again, weird division this season. Like last season, teams starting getting cut off, but nobody seems to be kind of cut off at the moment. And lots of teams with games in hand as well, which is going to make a massive difference towards the end of the season. So another talking point before we go to next week's games. So I'll show the video clip next to me. Hopefully this works when I do the edit later. So Rugby Borough obviously didn't get a goal against Bedworth United early in the season. Had a good moan about it, rightly so. But it's the design of these goals, which I think is the bit of the problem at the moment. And again, their goal this weekend now, thankfully, I think I've seen it a few different angles. I think it does cross the line. I think, these goals they're using there, obviously, they've gained an advantage one week, not got the advantage the next. In football, we want to see teams getting the right decisions given. We always like rubber the green, and we always like, we like non-league football because there's no VAR. But, if we're going to keep getting this issue with these goalposts where that kind of triangle is at the bottom of that goal, I think Rugby Borough need to look to change those goals to a different style. I think no matter what kind of goals you have, I have seen it at Bedworth United, I think it was last season, where something hit off the post and came back out again. We weren't sure. Slightly different design of goals. I just think that kind of small triangle at the bottom is causing a few problems. So I'd like to know everyone's thoughts on that. I do think they need to change the goals, personally. But that's down to a matter of opinion. So you've seen the video here, and if you go on Rugby Borough social media, they've got it all plastered over there as well. So, like I say, I think the referee got the decision right. I think, but obviously, we want to make these decisions easy for the referees to give. We don't want to make it difficult. Yeah, that's the other issue. But anyway, we'll move on from that. So we'll look on to next week's games. So we've got 2 midweek games to enjoy at the moment. Haven't seen any rearrangements put in there yet. So we'll go with the games that the NPL shown so far. So Coventry Sphinx take on Lichfield City. So can Coventry Sphinx leap further away from danger against Lichfield, who aren't quite fully clear of it at the moment? They're still kind of down there. And then we've got bottom of the table, St Neots taking on Shepshed Dynamo. Now, I watched Shepshed play recently, and I thought they played quite well, but they seem to have kind of gone off the boil a little bit recently. So can their promotion charge continue, or will St Neots make it more exciting at the bottom of the table, one of their games in hand? So obviously we've got a full run of fixtures as well. I'll go for those in a second, but I'm going to give some predictions on the games. So Coventry Sphinx versus Lichfield City. I'm going to go for 1-0 for Lichfield City there. Sphinx are playing quite well at the moment. I think there's too many games in a row might cause them a few issues. St Neots versus Shepshed Dynamo. I'm going to go for 2-0 Shepshed Dynamo, just because I've seen Shepshed play this season. I was quite impressed by them. Although St Neots have signed some new players recently, so will that make a difference? We'll go on to the Saturday game. So we've got Rushden Diamonds versus Coventry Sphinx again. I'm going to go 2-0 Rushden Diamonds. I think home advantage is going to make a difference here. Although, again, like I've said before, Coventry Sphinx are playing quite well at the moment. So could go either way there, but I'm going to go 2-0 Rushden Diamonds. Basford versus Coleshill Town. I'm going to go 2-1 to Basford there. Bedworth United versus Wellingborough Town. Hard to predict Bedworth United at the moment. They're doing quite well. I'll be there covering the game. I'm going to say 2-1 to Bedworth United, although Wellingborough got a good team, but they seem to kind of stuttering a little bit as well. Bourne Town versus Loughborough Students. Bourne Town can't stop scoring at the moment. They've got something right there. I think that's going to be 2-0 to Bourne Town. I think they're going to leapfrog Loughborough, bring some of the teams into trouble. I think that might just push Loughborough down a little bit more. Carlton Town versus Mickleover. I'm going to go for 1-0 to Carlton Town here. I know they've had a blip against Bedworth this weekend, but I think they're going to get one over there on Mickleover. Long Eaton United versus Lichfield City. I tipped Long Eaton for the playoffs recently. Don't know what's happened to them. They just seem to have imploded. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Lichfield City there. Racing Club Warwick versus Boldmere St Michaels. Now, I know Racing Club Warwick have dropped down to 10th. They've got a few games in hand. I think they're going to get the victory there, 2-0. They're going to get their promotion charge back on there. Shepshed Dynamo versus Belper. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Belper Town there. I don't think Shepshed Dynamo fans are going to be very happy with that prediction. But there you go. That's my prediction. I'm going to go with it. And I think, oh, hang on. I miss it. Oh, a random fixture here. So Rushden Diamonds twice on my list. St Neots versus Rugby Town. I'm going to go 1-0 to St Neots there. I think St Neots are going to pull Rugby Town into danger and maybe sort themselves out a little bit, possibly. Sutton Coldfield Town versus Anstey Nomads. I keep saying Anstey Nomads. They've got a good squad of players. They've got games in hand. I think they are the team to challenge Carlton Town, but they need to start getting those victories. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for the Nomads. So if anyone wants to let me know your predictions to see whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I think a lot of people keep disagreeing with me and my predictions are all over the place, which is fully understandable. We'll leave it there. So that's it. That's it for this week's Northern Premier League Midland review. Get my words out. If you've enjoyed the show, please like and share and subscribe. I'll be back again next week to do it all again. Until then, enjoy the football and I'll see you again soon.